Hi guys, welcome. No theme song. StreamYard is not loving me these days, but I'm here with the gentleman, and this is our evening show, the National Streaming Sports Professional Sports Show. Shout out to Mac and Linda. Mac, can't wait to see you back. Great producers over there. Download the Roku app so you too can get sports news 24/7 without the cost of cable. I'm joined by Bo Crouch, the host of Coast to Coast, Keith Engle, TGI Sports Talk, and Jay Train, the co-host of NFL Download. And I, of course, am Sonya, host of Prim and Proper Sports. Good evening, everyone. How are y'all tonight?
Hello, Sonya.
Hey, doing
We
good.
can sing Christmas Carol if you'd like to get started with the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, and you guys are welcome.
Well, I do have my little decor in the backdrop here. Y'all, I guess we'll start out with the big news. Kirk Cousins finally got sat down. I mean, I tried to tell y'all at the beginning of the season, those of you who were banking on him being, the Falcons saving grace and them winning the NFC South. So, how y'all feeling about Michael Penix Jr., the draft that rose to fame, who is now taking over with 3 games left in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I thought he was the most NFL ready coming out of the draft anyway. So it's good to see him get his spot. Interesting timing, but since they're still in the race. But yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be fine. He's coming in to play the Giants, so it's not like it's a tough task ahead of him.
I will not change my tack from draft night right through till today that the Falcons screwed this up royally. They wouldn't need Michael Penix to start here if they've gotten Kirk Cousins some help in the draft for this year. Why sign him and then draft Michael Penix? To me, it's kind of, now you're closing a barn door after the horse has already escaped, right? So I don't think this is going to jumpstart this team. I think they're more likely to struggle than not. So I'll stick to my original take. If they gotten Kirk Cousins some help, this story might have been different the last month. So,
I mean, but what kind of help would they really need, J Train? I mean, you and I are both here in the South. They were already offensively stacked. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, look, watching that offense, I knew when the players and pieces that they got at the beginning of the season, I just thought with Kirk Cousins that they would be like 100% better than what they were the season before. And they were. I mean, let's not forget, Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards against Tampa Bay.
Listen, I'm not necessarily offensive help, by the way. Defensive help. Go ahead.
But look, I really think that he's reverted, and Michael Penix. I did agree with Keith in the beginning. I thought it was a terrible decision to draft him, but now you have a guy that's an ace in the pocket. I mean, he's an ace coming out of the sleeve, and I think this is really pushed by the owner. I think the owner, he was excited when he drafted Michael Penix, and you don't want to fail the fans at the same time, but they're trying to get to the playoffs, and they can't do it without winning the division. They got to stay in race, and they're going to get help from the Giants by doing that. The Giants are really going to help them out this next game, and it's going to help a young rookie quarterback to have an easier game than say for going against the Packers or somebody like that.
They are not. They are definitely not the team that everybody thought they would be. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Baker Mayfield has played lights out and continues to do so. It seems like the longer the season progresses, the hotter he gets. And so this is the time of season that we always talk about. You got to play to stay this time of year. And I don't see Tampa Bay bowing out this close. I think Falcons do own the tiebreaker with them should they meet them in the postseason for the playoff push, if it comes to that. But if Tampa continues to win out, there's no way the Falcons are going to go to the postseason. All right, so the draft order came out. It kind of is an up and down battle between the top 4 teams. This is the list you do not want to be at the top of because it lets you know you were at the bottom of the NFL rankings for the year. Panthers coming in at number 5 right now. Las Vegas and New York are battling in between them for the first and second spots. And the Patriots are not far behind. Bo, I think you're the only safe person on this platform right now that is not a contender for the top draft spot. Even the Saints are dangling in there somewhere amongst everybody. Gentlemen, how are you feeling? I'll start with you, Mr. Patriot, with your Hurricanes gear on tonight. How are you feeling? I mean, Drake May is a rookie. You know, it's always an acclimation period coming out of college into the NFL. And so you didn't expect to have your season completely turned around and have a Belichick-esque type season, even though Bill is long gone. How are you feeling right now?
Not great. I feel good about Drake May showing a little bit of promise. The offensive line is as bad as we expected. The defense is much worse than we expected. One thing they did last year is they played defense fairly well most of the time, and his team battled. And there's been games this year where this team hasn't battled, and that's a bit disturbing. Too many penalties, too many a lot of things. Again, there's not enough talent on this team to begin with, and then when you don't coach them up and you're making stupid penalties constantly during the course of the game, you can't get off the field on third down. This team deserves to be where they are, and it's been very disappointing. Again, I did not expect necessarily to win more 4 or 5 games, but the way they seem to have kind of rolled over a couple of times is a bit disturbing. And the defensive regression is very disturbing because now we need help everywhere, not just on the offensive line and skill positions, but we need help at linebacker. The secondary suddenly looks suspect, and there's just so many holes. I don't know where we start. So.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It's got some interaction going on in your background. There's like a chiming.
I hear that.
I don't know who it is, if it's likes or loves, but we're not seeing them here. So share them with us on the air. It's like a chiming. So J Train, how are you feeling about the Saints and their specific rankings coming in right about now? I mean, is your season over? You guys have Rattler that's come in and seemed to kind of literally rattle things up, no pun intended. Derek Carr is definitely out with that hand or arm injury, whichever one. It looked like an arm. I know everybody's saying hand. Are the Saints completely out of playoff contentions?
Yes. Well, look,
No.
they would have to have miracles occur in order to get into the playoffs. But I'm not a believer in miracles. I'm pretty much a realist, and it's over. It's over. I do have some a glimmer of hope in Spencer Rattler. I mean, I like the way he played against this team. Who was that they played against Monday or Sunday? It was Washington.
Remember who
the
even
Commanders.
played your team? Oh, snap! You have checked out.
Yeah, I mean, no, they played the Commanders, and Rattler had a great 2-minute drive, and they went for the win. You know, they unfortunately didn't get it, but I mean, there's a lot of promise there, and to be a 5th round draft pick, man, I think he really got lowballed in regards to how things played out on that Oklahoma that documentary that he was on. He made him look like he was pretty. I mean, first of all, he's young. He's like 17, 18 years old. And, I remember doing some dumb things at that age. And so he's matured. And I think, again, a lot of promise there. And I think he's going to eventually succeed or take Derek Carr's place.
All right. And good evening to West Coast Win and David Guyette, I guess, or Guyette. I'm making sure I pronounce it correctly. Reluctantly, I guess I'll talk about my Panthers real quick before I hop over to Bo, because that was the reluctant part I was talking about, because he's the only tiny champ here right now on the platform. Panthers look promising. Everybody, for the first time in 2 seasons, they actually had the Panthers projected to win, not blowout win, but win against the Cowgirls. And what do? We go in there and revert back to the Panthers of yesteryear, or should I say yestermonth? Okay, since it's the month of December, and it was just a month ago that we were not that good. I mean, honestly, within the last 3 games, with the exception of the one we just had, everybody was basically talking about Bryce. You know, he actually was amongst trade rumors. Like, some teams were reaching out interested in him. Now, not so much. And now we don't know where we're going to go. I will say kudos to David Tepper, our owner. I have not heard his name since the Hurricane Relief Act, where he's been taking up money, him and his wife, Nicole, to support Western Carolina victims of the Hurricane Helene North Carolina's my home state, so we had. And so kudos to him for staying out of football business, because I think that right there has really shown the improvement. I don't think us losing to Dallas is just we're gone. We play the Cardinals on Sunday. Even though Kyler Murray has been looking amazing, we do have that game at home, and we have a bounce back projection. We play Tampa right after that, and we close it out with the Atlanta Falcons. And for the last 4 years, the Atlanta Falcons have split with us, and so it's time for us to get our split back to round out the end of the season. And even though we are officially eliminated, and shout out to NFL, thanks for having your meme ready, the same meme for the last 4 years that you immediately hit send on as soon as our clock struck 0. I'm not going to be just so quick to give up on my Panthers. And at least we have now won 1 game more than we did the previous season. Bo, reluctantly, I mean, you would be on here tonight with your tiny championship Seahawks. Geno Smith getting it done, standing in the gap.
I wouldn't say tiny championship. We got absolutely smacked by Green Bay a couple days ago. So,
well, yeah, that.
I mean, yeah, no, it's. I mean, this is where I thought we'd be. Like I at the beginning of the season, I thought they were a 9-win team. I mean, they just. It's a lot of new contracts, 1-year contracts, new coaching. Like I didn't expect them to be juggernauts out here. I figured they were again going to be a 9-8 team. Now they do have a shot at getting the playoffs here, but that loss to Green Bay hurt. And then having Geno get hurt in the process, we'll see how effective he is moving forward. But having the Vikings this week isn't exactly great. It is a weird year though, because when you look at the standings, you have 9 teams with 4 or less, and most of which are on the AFC side. The AFC is bizarre. Like you're either great or just terrible. Like there's not a lot of teams in the middle. Whereas on the NFC side, the middle is kind of clogged up. But it's crazy to think that you got 7 teams with 3 wins or less this late in the season. Like that.
Yeah. I love it.
That is terrible.
I love it because they can't talk about the Panthers like they did last year. You notice nobody's really talking bad about us this year because we've got so many people joining us. I love it.
Well, yeah. What you guys are? 6th or 7th? Yeah. So, which is crazy to be the 7th worst team with 3 wins, because that lets you know the league is rough.
Yes, yes, and I think even our friend here, Mr. ENGLE, I think their team may be a little tad bit worse. And I hated Keith because I like Keith.
I don't.
Awesome.
I won't even put up an argument here. I mean, we are very, very bad.
I'd much rather it be Jack, somebody that talks back and is rude and stuff like that. I'd much rather it be, and I think they may have won one more game than us, but it's coming.
I do talk back. I try not to be rude. That's all. I mean, as good as I'll try not to be rude.
I like that you took the stance of, I feel bad that I just dunked on you.
Yeah, Keith is, you can't be really mad at somebody like Keith. He's just like, hey, I hate to tell you this, but this is how it is. Whereas some people are like, this is how it is, and I don't care how it comes out. Keith at least has, some type of filter, and so I have to,
exactly. And when my team stinks, I know they stink, and I'm not, there's no conspiracy theories and stuff like that. We stink. Listen, I had a great run for 20 years and I wrote it and I was obnoxious, and I will admit I was one of the worst winners you could probably come across.
I mean, you also had a lot of rough years prior to that, though.
Yes, that's because you stunk before those years. Yes.
Yeah. And I will say this, at least you're not coming off like the Cowboys from 30 years ago. Still talking about those rings. Your rings are much more current, and I don't get that same vibe from you, Keith.
Listen, again, during that 20 years, I knew eventually we'd be like everybody else. And here we are, and it's it's not a lot of fun, but I get to talk a lot more at the bar during the games because there's really nothing to watch on the TV. So I get to visit with my friends I don't see as much these days, so it's fun. So
Yeah,
the Cowboys need some brass cleaner for their awards because they're tarnished. They're old. They've just been sitting around collecting dust.
They're not only old, they've been sold. Some people have pawned them for house payments or whatever. They've done the O.J. Simpson on those rings. Let's be clear. They've been sold at the yard sale. And hi, Rick. He said maybe Georgia can trade for Bryce to replace. You know what, Rick? I thought we were fine. I thought we were cool. I don't even know. I have to put your comment up. Beck's on his way to the NFL. And hello to someone. Wait a minute. We missed a comment. Takida, watching from Africa. Hello, we were. Okay.
That's what's up.
Kenya in the house.
Mr. Copa. I'll be safe with the last name, Mr. Copa.
Not to dump on my good friend Rick Sherlock, who was a fellow Perthite. Remind him on draft day where Bryce Young got drafted and when Carson Beck gets drafted about the 3rd round.
Oh, I will. Trust me. Thanks for that, Keith. I sure will. And I don't care if Carson is double Bryce's height.
I think that's being nice, Keith. I think that he might go 5th or 6th.
Might be later, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of college, real quick, plugging in Travis Hunter gets the Heisman. Very emotional speech. Gives a shout out to his dad. And hello to Paul. Hello to Mr. Tomatoes. God bless you as well. And hello to Jeremy, our Lion friend. Yeah, the Lions roar on. The Lions got their Asopsa beat. I mean, the score did not look like what that game really was. They got beat down and just happened to come back in the end because the Bills just got tired of playing, looks like. I don't even know if Josh Allen was still in the stadium when they finally came back with the score. But yeah, I mean, the emotional, he gives a shout out to his dad. Kudos to Travis Hunter. I don't think it was a surprise. You guys, were y'all surprised he got the Heisman?
No, best player in the country. Best player in the country since day one. I've been saying he would get this. I was surprised the gap wasn't a little bit bigger, but Giante had a great season. I mean, one of the best in history for a running back, and I think he was very deserving of second place. And in any other year, he probably would have won.
Yes.
It's interesting. The quarterbacks don't win, but there are 2 guys that would have actually won this before a quarterback. So
that does say how average or the quarterback is going to be. But with that said, I want to respond to what my man from Detroit just said. He didn't get robbed, man. To play 2 sides and to win both the top awards for receiver and for defensive player. That's not a person that's robbing another person. I mean, this is a guy that's totally deserving of that award. I mean, it was close. It's not like he ran away with the trophy. He won by like 200 points or something like that.
1,400 snaps he played this year. I don't know how many decades I'd have to go back to find somebody who played that many downs in a season.
That's a lot of snaps. That's a snap, crackle, and pop. Okay.
Thank goodness it was minus the pop. Yeah.
They got minus the pop. Years to find that.
As great of a season as Gentry had, though, had he won it, you wouldn't have thought twice about it either. You'd have been like, yeah, okay. Like, you could make a case for both of them. I thought the right guy won. But had it gone the other way, I wouldn't have been mad at that either.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's such a tough competition this year, looks like. I mean, however, when the draft kicks off, it will not be as competitive as it was before with quarterbacks. Hello, Daniel. Thanks for joining us from Wisconsin. Are you a GB fan, Daniel? Mr. Zekas Jr.? A lot of viewers tonight. Thank you all for joining.
He's probably a Badger fan.
Yeah, Packers. And that's what I said about Green Bay. They call them the Packers because they make the other team pack their stuff up and get up out of there after that L they take. Very competitive. So back to the NFL. We got big games coming up now. This past week, we had the Raiders and the Falcons and the Bears, and I don't remember who the Bears played. It was a blowout. God, I'm having a brain freeze. The Lions? No. Who the Bears play?
They played Minnesota, didn't they?
Minnesota, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on quarterbacks that go from one team and go to another team and they're either extremely good or extremely bad? We look at Jameis Winston, who's now a journeyman in the league, and he looked good when they beat the Ravens, and then now he's back to being interception king. Well, not quite king, because Kirk Cousins has now had officially 18 interceptions for the season. Shout out to Kirk again. What are your thoughts on someone like Sam Darnold, who goes from the Jets, plays okay, goes to the Panthers, plays a little better, goes to the Vikings, and is exploding out there, like making them look like the 2018 Vikings from before, from that far back, like championship caliber, the NFC North being extremely competitive. What are your thoughts on that? I'll start with you, Bo.
I mean, fit matters, right? Like it's one of the biggest things when you get drafted, in the first few picks is you're going to a bad team. Usually you're going not only to a bad team, but probably a dysfunctional one also. So, some guys can overcome that, but, it's tough to overcome the Jets. Look at all the quarterbacks that have gone there and failed. Similar to like the Browns, they draft guys. I mean, they have a jersey that has 43 quarterback names on it. None of them really worked. So they worked other places, but not for that organization. So this isn't a huge shock to me that he lands somewhere that has weapons, gives him protection. He doesn't have to play hero ball. He gets to manage the game and be special a couple of times. Darnold can do that. Most quarterbacks in the NFL can succeed in that scenario if you have protection and weapons and a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl that way. Nobody's saying he's awesome. Right?
Right?
Exactly.
That's actually a good point. I never thought about that. When you're high in the draft, you're not going because you're going to the Patriots from 5 years ago or the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going because you're going to the New York Giants.
Yep.
Sorry, Mac. I know you're probably watching. You're going to the Carolina Panthers. Okay, and Lions didn't take an L in Lambeau. Okay, Jeremy.
I got to jump for 2 seconds, guys. I'll be.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, Keith. Keith Engel, everybody.
Well, I'd like to chime in on that, Sam Darnold. I agree with Bo about fit matters. I mean, culture, developing a quarterback, all that really matters. But let's not say that. Let's not look at the past here. I mean, not look at the past. My man was drafted number 3 overall, I believe, in his draft. I mean, and so the talent was there, but when you get drafted high, you get sometimes it's just going to the right team or going to the wrong team, and he just didn't. He went to the Jets. It was bad there, and then of course he went. I hate to keep bringing this up, Sonya, but he went to the Panthers as well, and he didn't do well there. But obviously, you had a good defense where he's at, and he's like Rick said, he's got weapons. He's showing what he can do, and they put him in the best situation to succeed. I mean, you clearly see that he does still have some flaws there, but his positives and benefits totally outweigh his flaws. I mean, they far surpassed him, and to have 2 good wide receivers, a good running back, and a great defense helps, and the coaching again, superb coaching helps as well.
Well, I mean, we got Dave. Since you plugged in the Panthers, I try to refrain from talking about them these days, honestly, considering how I started off the season. I mean, I used to do the show and wear Panthers colors every show or a jersey or something. Y'all see now I come in here with green on, brown, orange. Like, it doesn't even matter. I looked at the jerseys tonight before the show and was like, nope. Maybe I literally was looking at them. Guys, y'all know, but so I moved to a new house back in September, but because I was in law school and it's so overwhelming, I'm just literally, now that classes are over for this year, getting a chance to go through boxes, and I'm unpacking, and I got like, I forgot I had that jersey. I got like 7 or 8 nice jerseys, and I'm hanging them up. I was up literally to 6 o'clock this morning, y'all. That's why if you text me between 7 and 12, I was finally asleep. So I literally was looking at those jerseys like, oh, snap, that's a bad jersey. And I was like, no. I'll wear it when we win a game. But just saying all of that, I mean, Dan Canales is a really good coach from Tampa Bay. He got them to the postseason last year. I really am one of these people. I can't put it 100% on the coach. I can't put it 100% on the quarterback. I think it's just a like a casserole. It's a mixture of everything good. And y'all know what a casserole, if you put one bad ingredient in there, your whole casserole is tanked. So I think if we look at it like from the aspect of a casserole or even baking a cake, I remember when I was in like high school when I took home ec and we were making a batch of cookies. Well, I accidentally mixed up the sugar with the salt. So you know what happened, and the whole batch was ruined. So it's the same equivalent with, these teams. You got one person that's really, really bad that's on the field, then here you go. Now, case in point, Devondre Campbell refused to take the field with the 49ers last week. Didn't want to come out in the third quarter because he'd been so-called back behind someone else. But this is what you do. You come in, you play, and you play as a team. You play where you're needed. You play in the gaps. Now, you got Kareem Hunt. No, I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill. I always mix those two up. Tyreek Hill comes out earlier today. We don't know what this means. He's like, Coach, it's time to go. What do you mean, sir? You're putting this on social media. Are you about to bow out too? There's another player that are refusing, and these people are getting, released, but making the NFL is a 1 in a million shot. Most of the people that play really good are not going to make the teams, and you're taking these advantages for granted because you're not actually able to take the field. But you're going to a team that's so bad and you're so mad about it, then my thing is don't play in the league. If you're not coming in to help, don't play in the league. It's just that simple. Jay says, unless you're an extreme talent, offensive line and play call and make a quarterback succeed. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Rick says he can sit. You know what, Rick? I'm gonna text you my address. I love Adam Thielen. I'm always a low-key Vikings fan because purple is my favorite color. It's my birthstone. So when the Vikings went to the Super Bowl, I was actually the very next year I graduated with my master's from a college in Minnesota, and I got a chance to take some pictures outside of y'all's ship. And so I also grabbed a book. Super Bowl was on my birthday that year. So yeah. But anyway, Bo, can you pop that collar?
Definitely not. I would have to kick my own ass. Like
what is happening? Go Lions. Okay. So yeah, what do you do when you have this type of situation that is okay, this quarterback is not good, this quarterback is not good, and you're just trying to figure out how it all fits in?
I don't think it's a scenario where they're not good. I think it's just the fit and development wasn't there. Because it's not like it was unique to Darnold with the Jets. You had Wilson with the Jets. You had Geno with the Jets. Geno's having a career now, right? You look at Baker, so it's not even just a Jets thing. The Browns, right? The Browns have made missteps at quarterback for years and years. They flush Baker out after he gets them their only playoff win in, 20 years. And now he's doing great with Tampa, right? So sometimes you could go there and be the best player you could possibly be. And the organization may be just enough of a dumpster fire that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You're just like, okay, what are we going to do? And how are we going to get from behind this dumpster fire? How do I prevent from going? I don't even know. People are saying this is our third year. No, it's not. We've been losing for like 6 years now. And, the NFL always stands for not for long. And something has to go. Like, even people are like, well, just sell your team. And then do what? You're still going to get the same type of talent. You cannot continuously rebuild every single year.
So the thing, like, I get the people calling for Tepper to sell. And the only reason I say that is you guys have had 6 coaches in 3 years.
7. Well, 7 in 6 years. So yeah.
So when you think of it like that way, it's if you look prior to this year, the previous 3, you had a head coach and then an interim coach for 3 straight years, right? So, you're on your 7th coach in 4 years, which is crazy, absolutely crazy, right? So, like, that's ownership decisions. Like that's not team stuff. That's ownership stuff. So, really, that team has become so unstable since Tepper got there, which makes sense because he's just an unstable human. But
wow. Oh my God. Why? Because of the drink throwing incident? That's what we do. You know, if you want it, we bout it. You know, we might not be able to win a game, but we're gonna toss some drinks on you.
Can you bring that comment back up about the Bo Nix?
Yeah, let me bring that back up. I skated right through that because Bo Crouch was talking, so I wanted to write Bo. Y'all like how I just plugged that in there? You like how I just did that?
Oh my goodness.
Let's see, where
So
is it?
yeah, the guy that said Bo Nix has made Dallas Broncos relevant. I disagree with that. I disagree. Sean Payton and that defense has made them relevant. Bo Nix has opportunities to thrive as a rookie. But it's the defense that has made them relevant. When you look at how they've played and how they've gotten the ball back, they've kept them in games. It's the defense, totally. I disagree with that, but I like where Bo Nix is going. But he's not the one that's making them relevant.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he has played significantly better as the year's gone on, though. In fact,
Yes.
he has a real shot at getting the Offensive Player of the Year now.
Yes.
I mean, Denver's always been known as a defensive team. Look at how they cheated us in the Super Bowl and defense wins championships.
I mean,
But they wanted Peyton. They were not going to let Peyton Manning ride off into the sunset with the no ring. Like when the Panthers. Let me just say this, and I'm being honest. I know y'all think
you
this
see a
because
ball
I'm
hanging
biased.
out right here. You try and get on that thing.
That's where I was about to go with that.
No, that's what I'm saying. When the Panthers came out, when we came out on the field before the clock even started, the team looked way different. If y'all remember, Thomas Davis had just had his arm literally stitched up like a football, and just the momentum was really bad. They weren't smiling anymore. The energy was different. It's almost like somebody told them in the locker room, listen, y'all are just here. You will not win this game. I'm telling you, the time they took the field, I was watching, and I literally told people that were watching with me, I said, y'all, this team looks way different. I don't have a good feeling about this. And we hadn't even got on the field yet. I was like, the energy is off. Jay says, if you look at what Detroit has done, it's a bit unique where they build a legit culture. Yep. Is there another example of that happening in the league? No, and that's why I'm getting me a Detroit shirt. That's exactly why I'm getting me one.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I mean, I would say Pittsburgh has always had a really decent culture outside of the one guy, Antonio Brown. I mean, I think for the most part, they have had really good culture there and success there. And I'd also say Kansas City. Kansas City has really good culture. I mean, they're winning. And I mean, I love Andy Reid. I think what Andy Reid brings to the table as a head coach is just bar none. I mean, and everybody follows suit. I mean, and you're lucky. I guess you have to have luck to draft a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, to put those two together and to have the defense that they're having, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like Jay said, it's consistency. 18 years. I mean, I was a teenager 18 years ago. And so, you know, to whatever J Train. And so to still have the same coach since I was like in middle school is amazing to me. Jay does point out and says, what wasn't the biggest change for the Broncos, Russell Wilson versus Bo Nix? He knows it's simplistic, but he's just saying, wouldn't say the Broncos defense isn't legit. But what about without Nix playing at a high level?
I disagree with that. Again, I think Russell Wilson was forced out. I think, I mean, clearly he's playing a lot better now where he is with a culture that wanted him. They didn't want him there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how would you play?
That's what I was going to say is Peyton and Wilson, they did not see eye to eye at all. At the same time, Wilson went there to be the let Russ cook guy, right? And the problem is
he burned it. He overcooked them.
Yeah, like he's making hot dogs and Pop-Tarts. Like it's not good, right? Like he can be special a few times a game, but what he needs is a good defense, a good running game, and to be special 2 or 3 times a game, which is what he did in Seattle, right? What that Steelers team looks like today looks exactly like Seattle did then.
Yeah.
They're elite on defense. They have some outside weapons that can get open, and he has to throw a long ball a couple of times. Other than that, that defense is going to win you games. It sounds very familiar.
Very familiar. And guys, we're going to take a 1-minute break because believe it or not, the commercial just popped up for me to be able to play it. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. So one moment, we'll be back in 60 seconds, y'all.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonja Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
All right, we're back and we're rejoined by the one and only Keith Angle.
Rev.
The Rev. All right, we got a couple of comments of some people that got some heart while we were out. Let's see. Jay says, forgot about Kansas City. He's right. He said, Bo hates America and hot dogs. Wow. And
I like that he says that while I'm wearing a USA shirt.
Jay Trade is 100% not voting Bo Nix for Rookie of the Year.
Oh no, I got Jay Daniels, and not just being biased because I'm an LSU fan, but he's played like he deserves that award. So, but if I had to give a 1A, 1B, it would be Bo Nix in a tight second.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Is it's going to be how are they performing over the next few weeks, right? Because Washington's trending the wrong direction and Denver's trending up, right? So that's why I say that race is close. Bo Nix has a real shot to win that thing if Washington continues to slide and they, Denver ends up going to the playoffs.
But let's say this: how do you compare Denver's defense versus Washington's defense?
I'm not debating that. I'm just saying this is a voting game. The memory of voters is about 4 seconds.
You're right. I agree. I totally agree.
Recency bias is a real thing in all of sports, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. If he balls out the last 3 weeks and Daniels is okay, I would put money Knicks wins.
And only one winner. There's no participation trophies here, James. One
no,
winner.
of course not.
This is actually sports.
I got to
but there are, which is, I still think, do you think this is a good question since you brought that up. Do you think that it should be divided defensive versus offensive rookie of the years?
I'd be okay with that.
I always thought
it is. You still have defensive rookie of the year.
Oh, I think that's fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
No, of course. Yeah, otherwise a defensive player would never win one.
Yeah, it's not like baseball where you're playing both ways unless you're, well, some guys don't, but most guys play two ways, right? And you got two platoons. You have to give credence to both. They're both important. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so we got some big games coming up tomorrow night, Thursday night football. Who y'all got going into that game? I mean, it's starting off week number 16. Oh my goodness!
Really, another season is gone.
So quick,
so very quick.
Amazing.
Wow!
I cannot believe it. I had so many goals by the end of the season, and I'm not talking about necessarily the Panthers win. I'm just saying like goals, like, hey, I want to do this by this. The year is over. 2024 is a wrap, y'all, and it's literally ending around that same time. And hello to you, Danny Fuller. Good evening. I don't know when you're in afternoon, it's evening for us.
I mean, what are you guys talking about? You got the UFL to watch.
What? I said football
after the season.
No, I don't. Nobody gets into the freaking UFL. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, what is that? Under 4 long. Underwear, feet long.
There's like 4 leagues that nobody cares about. I don't even know why they're playing.
I saw a commercial recently that was coming up, and it showed a guy. He looked like he was about 180 pounds soaking wet, running with the ball, and I was like, wow.
It's kind of like the Pro Bowl. Nobody. It's just I don't understand what's changing it. I'm gonna be
That's
honest.
a travesty about the Pro Bowl. That's a travesty.
They don't play a game anymore, so why play a game?
It's not. And I just feel like for me, I'm gonna be honest, for me, I just personally, once the Panthers lose, I'm done watching football for the Sunday. I'll go and watch a few highlights so I can jump on with J Train as far as the show and know what to talk about with y'all. But there was a couple of weeks. I remember like part of it was because I was busy with studying, but there was one show I was on with y'all a few weeks back, and you were like, yeah, so you guys got the big game coming up Sunday, and I'm like, yeah, we do. And one of y'all was like, yeah, the Falcons. And I was like, for real already? And I had mentally checked out because I'm tired of the L's. Like when you got back-to-back seasons of losing, it's just like, who do we play?
That was what, September 15th or something like that?
Yeah, because we started off with the Saints, and they scored all their points in that first opener, and then we haven't seen them anymore. And we actually, they're one of our wins. We beat them in Charlotte later on, so we're doing what we need to do.
The Saints are having some sort of problems. They had a premature. I can't say whatever else I want to say, and
I know what you want to say.
And then just fell off the map.
So let me go ahead and clarify with Jay. Oh yes, I will be watching. If Detroit goes to the Super Bowl, I am buying a Lions shirt. I may buy some type of Lions memorabilia. I mean, they're felines. We support them. They have a feel-good story. You guys will probably forget I'm even a Panthers fan next season when we're filming this because I'll just be lining it up. Okay.
Bandwagon jumpers. Every bandwagon needs a jumper. You're okay.
That's right.
Listen, I'll jump on any bandwagon except the Chiefs. Will not be jumping on them, period. Y'all didn't see me jump on them last year. I was hoping they got eliminated every game with Patrick Mahomes throwing these balls all over the stadium.
Why does everybody hate a winner? Always. I had to deal with it for 20 years. Everybody hates a winner. I don't get it.
Back to back.
Honestly, what it is dynasty fatigue.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Back to back. Take your win and go.
Of course you don't get that. You had 6.
Right. Like, get over yourselves. You got a whole handful and you're starting on the second hand. Like, you got to win. Give it to someone else. Like J Train and their New Orleans Saints who got their sympathy ring that year. Give it.
I mean, this country, we don't just give away trophies.
Oh, don't play. We got a Super Bowl. We earned our Super Bowl, man. You should have earned yours. And jump on the football.
We got cheated. I see someone like Bo who's got a Super Bowl win. They're calm. They took their win and they went on home, and that's that. Now
Bo should have 2. Bo should have 2.
That first one was a no doubt.
Oh, you don't think so, Keith?
Yeah, I'm sitting there too. My shoulders went down like.
Oh my God. We got a guy by the name of Marshawn Lynch who thinks he probably should have 2.
Yeah, the same guy who got mad and left and got on the train and went home in that beast mode. Yeah, we got him. So who you guys got coming up tomorrow night? Hold on, Jay is just going off in the comments. His keyboard has to be smoking. Hold on, let me get you caught up with Jay's comments real quick. Thanks, Jay, for all the comments. You are going to watch. Okay, the next one, he said, they are one of our wins when you say that your team is no good.
It's true.
Chefs, Patriots, Bears, Vikings, Packers are all annoying teams. And I did say chefs deliberately. I know how to read. The chefs and the refs. And he said it was the Saints who created the paper bag fan costume. Okay.
I didn't catch. I must have been away.
Yes, we did, man.
Who is Jay a fan of that he hates all these other teams?
He must be Detroit because he talks about now I
understand why he hates us all. He's never won anything for crying out loud.
He's a lion.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, in the Super Bowl era, they won championships prior to that. They still count. I get that.
And look at who he named out. You're right. He literally named out.
I understand his frustration. I get it. So.
Yeah, exactly. He's got all of the North in there.
And hello to Kenny 49ers. No doubt about who he's representing. What up to you, Kenny? Thanks for joining us tonight. Who y'all got with tomorrow's game?
Jay, congrats on the new kiddo. Hadn't seen him
congratulations,
since,
Jay.
hadn't seen him since then. So.
I'm
All
trying
right.
to be rooted, but I just got to call him like I see him, Jay. I'm sorry.
All
So
right.
the two biggest organizations and everybody in his division, I understand now. So.
All right, so tomorrow night, well, actually, you guys, this is the time of year we're going to start doubling up the games. You're going to start seeing games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got a Christmas debut next week. Thanks to all the extra streaming platforms. And believe it or not, YouTube is still trying to get you to get an NFL package for 4 games for $209. That is not a big deal, guys. With 4 games left, get over yourselves. And I say 4 with 3 in the playoffs. Get over yourselves. I'd rather get a broken Fire Stick.
Who's paying Peacock? Who's paying to subscribe to Peacock to watch the Chiefs?
I have a Peacock.
When the college football playoffs are on all days, Sunday.
Yes,
Saturday. I don't know if the NFL
yes.
is doing actually.
But I'm not subscribing to them for football. I subscribe to them because I want to watch The Office super fans. The Office is my favorite show, and I watch it every night before I go to sleep. It's my decompression, and they've made but you know what? Peacock sucks because I'm paying $7.99. All of a sudden, that was supposed to be for the premium. That's supposed to be for premium, right? And now they're like, you got to go up to $12 if you want no commercials. And I'm like, you were showing commercials last year. What the heck is going on?
Well, thanks a lot, Sonya. You just dashed our Peacock sponsorship there.
Sorry, Peacock.
So I also have Peacock, but only because when I moved my cable service and they just gave it to me for a year for moving.
Well,
get you a broken Fire Stick. Get you a Roku stick that's programmed by somebody on the side of the road somewhere, and you can see everything you want to see.
That's right.
Like $10 a month.
You can, if you want to talk about legal things, you can jailbreak anything and you can get it. It's not hard to get them either.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't do it. I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore.
Well, at least on here, we're going to say we don't do it because we don't want this to be used against us because the fans are always watching. And so, but Keith, I know you probably can see everything. Let's just put it like that. Danny says he refused to watch Peacock. He used to be the mascot. Okay, I got you, Danny.
Danny, Peacock. Oh, Danny getting a call. Oh, Danny.
All right.
Does Jaden Daniels have any chance against the Eagles defense?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a chance.
Oh, Jay said his baby has a full Lions outfit. How cute.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Like Simba,
right,
or is it? We talking like Simba or football?
Oh, someone said I used to break the law, but I don't. Jay Trade always says Keith is a rev. It's the book of Keith.
So you better graduate law school, or because my wife refuses to defend me in any more cases. So.
I got you, bro. I promise you. I'm gonna give me like 3.5, 3.5, and I got you. All right. So who y'all got tomorrow night?
I mean, I like the Broncos there, actually. And only because I like the defense, right? I'm in on that Broncos defense. They've been top 5 all season. And Bo Nix has been able to do enough to, and of course has been doing more as the season has gone on. And the Chargers are the Chargers.
I mean, I don't know, Bo. They're pretty good on defense themselves, man.
They are, but the Charger, right? Like, and that's not new.
Oh man.
I think I agree with Bo. I think the Broncos have a great opportunity to win this game. If J.K. Dobbins is out, in which he has been, that's the story of his career. He's just been often injured. Yep. And so not having him as a good running back, they got Gus Edwards, but I'm not really sold on him. J.K. Dobbins really was their bell cow, I would say. And so, it's going to be a little bit tough to do that. They only have a Lad McConkey, as far as a wide receiver goes. It's going to be tough.
I thought this would be tough for this team all year, and they've managed to I think, outdo their expectations this year.
I agree with that.
If Herbert's healthy, I think this team's got a real good chance to win this game. I wish they had a home field advantage. I don't really have a home field advantage of Chargers. I think there's probably there'll be as many Bronco fans there are Charger fans. But because of the defense and because of, listen, Jim Harbaugh is a very polarizing figure in pro football and college football. And all he does is win. So I like the Chargers here.
That ethics board's no joke.
I know it's not, and Rick, I'll represent Keith after I am definitely barred. Okay, so thanks for saying that. Y'all are funny talking about Keith looks like he's done some time and all this. Like, okay.
I think it's because I scraped all my tats off and everything from prison.
Is that what you do before the show? You put on makeup to cover up the face?
Yes, to cover
tattoos, yeah.
So the Chargers are actually favored to win by 3 guys, and I don't know. The Broncos are playing pretty. You know, they're playing really good, to be honest with you. But I just think the Chargers could still pull it off. I mean, they've had some moments throughout this entire season where they've just looked better, and Vegas has gotten it wrong. Kitty says, I had the Chargers defense on fantasy most of the year and noticed that they kill the bad teams but struggle versus teams that can score. And somebody says, Danny says, stay away from tomorrow's game is the only suggestion. How do you think it is perfect on our dominoes fall?
Yeah, I wouldn't put money on that game at all, for sure.
No,
I mean, Chargers are a 3-point favorite because they're at home, right? Like that is your standard Vegas home field advantage is 3 points. And so basically that's Vegas saying, we don't know.
3 points is a safe bet. Like when you get 3 points, that's like, okay, a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's always the home field advantage for Vegas. Like if the teams are even and a team's at home, they give you 3.
Oh, gotcha. Good to know.
One thing I would like to talk about is the playoffs. I think all the teams that are like Bo mentioned earlier, we talking about the AFC. It seems like a third world country. You only have elite players, and you have everybody else at the bottom. So look, I'd like to talk about playoffs though, because I think this year is probably going to be one of the best in a long time, considering you have 3 teams coming out of one division in the NFC North. The Philadelphia Eagles look great in the NFC. I wouldn't be mad at I would be kind of scared of a team like Tampa Bay, who can come in and as a wild card and sneak up on some of those really good teams. And then in the AFC, man, Buffalo is just if you don't think that Josh Allen is not MVP caliber, or if he hadn't won it outright just yet. I mean, something's wrong, because I think if he wasn't on that team, I don't think they'd be where they are.
I mean, he's had some back and forth over the last few years. We've seen him look good, off and on. And last year, I think he just had like a small slump for whatever reason. Maybe just the Bills as a whole had a lot going on. Thank God DeMar Hamlin's a lot better. He's actually out there playing now. I think that part of the season kind of catapult the entire season, because that was in January, and it kind of probably lingered over because they have personal relationships with each other. And so to see them back at it and be literally comparable, I got them for knocking the chefs off if it comes down to it.
I'm worried about their defense.
Yeah,
that Bills defense gives up points.
They do.
Right?
The past couple of games they gave up 40 plus.
Exactly. And Josh Allen can only play so much hero ball. I mean, 2 weeks ago when they lost to the Rams, he had 3 throwing, 3 rushing. There's not a lot of times that your quarterback is going to account for 6 touchdowns and take an L, right? Like that's a testament to how bad that defense is. So the Bills defense started out great. I don't know what has happened, but man, they've really fallen off over the last few weeks. That's a real concern going into the playoffs.
Allen's been much more consistent this year too. He hasn't had those ups and downs. He's playing a smarter brand of football, and with that game against LA was remarkable. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. 3 passing and 3 rushing. I don't believe.
No. In fact, he set the if you play fantasy, he set the best fantasy points for a quarterback ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's playing amazing. I would say he's just about sewn up the MVP at this point. But, I mean, man, that defense, they really have a hard time stopping teams that can move the ball.
Yeah, we got some comments here that I need to grab real quick. Buffalo's good. Thought Lamar Jackson was set to win it all into the Detroit game. That's from Jay. Then Dan Fuller wants Keith to basically bet the best game of the week. And then they talk about letting Diggs go was a major plus, as well as 4 starters are out for the Bills getting healthy. And then a quick shout out to the Pac-12 champion Oregon State Beavers. You heard it right. Okay.
It's a losing record, mind you.
Yeah. So Keith, what's going on with the deflated Spygate?
I don't believe Danny. That's Danny being an itch. That's what we call the button pushers on my show. And Danny's vying for this year's award. And that's carried over here. I will not be picking the Bills over the Deflategate Patriots. No, I will not. But I don't think we're going to beat them either. By the way, I will say, instead of getting flexed out of a prime slot, the Patriots got flexed into the 425 national TV spot this Sunday. So we got that to hear. So
you're going to take a butt whooping on national audience?
That's what I was going to say.
10,000 people, 10 million people. So maybe the Bills. Then maybe we
MVP talks as we get ready to wrap up the last 3 minutes here. This time flies by so fast, and we got a lot of great shows coming up the rest of the evening. Keith has a show immediately after this. I have a show at 9 Eastern Standard Time. Just stay right here. You got fun, you got football, you got a little bit of faith with the Christmas season, a whole lot of stuff, and then family, giving shout outs to people like Jay who just had a new baby. That's what we do. All the F's here, but not for failure, just for fabulous. On the Northeast.
Had a new baby? I should have never. I'm sorry. I take all that stuff back about the Lions. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just saw the correlation, Keith, when you said was Jay's baby with the Simba outfit. Duh.
Yeah.
Lion Simba. Yeah. It went right over my head.
Oh, that's funny.
And hello to you, Daniel Berry Sports. Highlights, and Danny says he loves you, Keith. Okay, just showing love here. Okay, you guys, MVP talks. Josh Allen has been talking to us. No one's mentioning Lamar that much anymore. He got King Henry up there, and looks like it wasn't the best. I don't know. It just wasn't more beneficial. Anybody else in MVP runnings? I know y'all want to go James Daniels and all these rookies.
Saquon Barkley. Yeah, and look, honorable mention, if his defense could play, it'd be Joe Burrow.
No question.
Oh yeah.
I like Josh Allen. You guys mentioned it earlier. I think Josh Allen wins this award this year.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I think he has it wrapped up at this point.
Yeah.
I would put Lamar and Saquon in second and third. Saquon and then Lamar.
It's a regular season award, so it doesn't matter if they do anything in the playoffs.
Right.
No one's mentioning Russell Wilson. I think Russ has a good run at it.
No, not a chance.
No.
He didn't start all year.
Right.
He only missed the first 4 games. Oh, you have to play every single game.
Well, because everyone else has.
And how good they played, right? I mean, Russell played good. Russ will be considered an MVP for his team. Probably.
Okay. What about
he might get
what
that?
About James Daniels? I guess he could be offensive player of the rookie of the year.
Speaking of what I wanted to say, what Bo said, I think Sam Darnold will probably get comeback player of the year.
So
absolutely.
He would have if they didn't change the award this year.
What did they change it to?
So they took it away from coming back from being terrible, and now you basically have to be coming back from injury. So Darnold won't be able to win it, despite the fact that other guys have won it exactly how he could. They changed the award for this year, so it's going to have to go to somebody that was injured last year and came back. So it'll probably be someone that's had an Achilles or something like that.
It better not be Aaron Rodgers. It better not be him.
That's like a Caitlyn Jenner Courage Award.
Yeah, I forgot Rob Manfred was now the commissioner of the NFL. I forgot.
Oh my goodness.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been real. It's been so awesome to have Bo, Keith, and J Train and myself on tonight. This show will re-air at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's on the Roku and YouTube app. Join us all night long. Keith Engle coming up here shortly with his show. My show later. Bo's on all day, every day. We appreciate all the likes, the love, and we just hope that everybody has a really great evening. And happy holidays to all of you out there that are celebrating. And Mac, we will see you guys soon. Good night, everybody.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonja Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the